Hey ladies, it's Mary and I'm super glad you're here. Today we are talking about new beginnings. It's the beginning of the year for me. It might be the beginning of a new chapter of your life for you. Maybe it's a new move, maybe it's a new career, maybe it's a new relationship. But we're going to talk about these new beginnings as we honor what was so that we can claim what is coming. How does that sound for you? If you're ready, let's get started. So this is about looking at what's next, but first, in order to take a look at what's next, we're going to take a look at what was. And so this month's mantra is nothing from last year was wasted. Now, I don't know about you, but can you believe that for yourself? Could you honestly say that nothing from last year was wasted? Because I found that, like, I questioned. I kind of looked like a dog, like, what? Like, I laughed out loud when I thought nothing from last year was wasted, because I felt like I wasted time. I felt like I didn't do what I said I was going to do. I made some mistakes. I stepped aside when I should have stepped up. So how can I say that nothing from last year was wasted? But when we take a look at what that mantra says or asks of us, and we take a look at what happened last year, what happened in the last 12 months, in order to call something forth, we need to finalize what was there before. Because reflecting on the past year is an invitation for us to slow down, which is not necessarily the kind of mindset that I grew up with. It was all about next, what's coming. I got to get this, I got to do that, I got to be more, have more, do more. But in reality, reflection creates the perspective. And I could use a lot of perspective, more perspective. I don't know about you. Because reflection allows us to live more honestly, and it allows us to treat ourselves with kindness. Kindness, people. New beginnings are the best way to look at our life through the lens of reflection, knowing that we are not broken. You're not broken. I am not broken. But we carry unfinished stories with us into the next chapter, and that's what reflection is all about. Because we are constantly asked to be more, to push. We're constantly comparing ourselves to others on social media. But life isn't about Instagram-worthy moments. It's not about comparing ourselves to somebody else on social media. It is, however, about where have we learned to draw our boundaries? What about those conversations that we had, those hard conversations, even those hard conversations we had with ourselves when we looked in the mirror? Our own emotional resilience, for instance. Do we break at every little thing that happens? These are the things that need to be acknowledged, because reflection builds trust, self-trust. That self-trust is the foundation of every meaningful new beginning. What we're taught is to look through the lens of achievement-based thinking. What my title is, what my position is, how much money I make, where do I live, what kind of car do I drive, what kind of purse do I carry, what kind of shoes do I wear. Instead, what I'm working on and what I'm asking you to delve into in this year-long journey of Who Is She is coming from achievement-based thinking to identity-based thinking. We don't want our title to define us. We want the things that we bring to the world, the person that we are, the gifts that we have, who we serve. We want that. We want our values to define us, our boundaries to define us. Like, what are those things that you can say about yourself, neglecting your title? Because without reflection, we're just going to keep repeating these same patterns. We're going to recreate goals that no longer fit. I have done this for so long, and now is the time to stop, because growth doesn't always look productive. Sometimes growth looks like this: sitting back, letting go of old identities, choosing to rest, saying no, staying when you once have run. So now's the time to get to work. Grab your pen and paper. Download the reflection journal. If you haven't already, download the journal. Stop, pause. Go grab the journal. If you haven't grabbed the journal, just grab some pen and paper. I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. I'm going to ask you a series of 6 questions. And the journal was designed to meet you where you are, not your neighbor, not your mother, your father, your brother. It's where you are. Some of the questions are going to feel good. Some of the questions are not going to feel so good. So if you feel resistance, it's not a failure. That, my friend, is information. And information is fantastic. Question number 1. What went right last year? Not last week, not 2 months ago, or yesterday. What went right last year? This was something that when I looked at my life last year, I struggled with looking at what went right last year. So if you are like looking at me with deer in headlights right now, got it. Totally got it. Because we don't normally look through the lens of what went right. We normally, as humans, it's just human nature, we look at things in the reverse. We look at the negative, what went wrong. But right now, I want you to look at what went right. The cool thing about this is there were some qualities that I developed along the way. But oftentimes, because we're pushing, because we're moving faster than the speed of light, because we're constantly on the go, we don't take the time to look at these things. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and look at these qualities that you developed because of last year. Now, let me just keep going here. Stay with me. So what did I do last year that made me a better version of myself as I am right now? What was so interesting was that Mel Robbins, for those of you that know her, Mel Robbins suggested that when you're looking at reflecting, go back, pick up your phone, and look through your photos. So go all the way back to January, like scroll right back to January and look at your photos, because that's kind of like the movie of your life of last year. What I found was something totally extraordinary, where my husband and I traveled last year for almost 6 months, and we totally forgot. We totally forgot all of the amazing places that we were, the people that we met, the food that we ate, the places we stayed, the things that we did. Bam, gone. So if I'm going to begin to define myself and look at this better version of myself, if I don't have that history of what went right, what brought a smile to my face, then I've missed out, right? You've missed out. Then the next thing I did, because I was so intrigued by this, I took my paper calendar, because I still have a paper calendar. I use Google, but I have a paper calendar also. I took my paper calendar because in that I write notes. I met this person, I went here, I ate that kind of stuff. Again, another layering process of what went right. So pause the video, grab your phone, go to your photo file, and look at all the cool things and all the cool people that you met last year. Write that down. What went right last year? Do that before moving on to question number 2. So go ahead and pause the video get to work. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so now that you've got that done, hopefully you got into the rhythm of this, of what went right. We're going to do the reverse of that now. Here is question number 2. What went terribly wrong? It could be a conversation that didn't go as planned, a trip that was canceled, a relationship that dissolved or went south, a battle that ensued, a career that no longer fit. Your weight, you thought you were going to lose weight and you ended up gaining weight. Your health, you didn't take care of yourself the way you said you were going to do. What went wrong? Go ahead and pause the video, and I'll see you back here in just a minute. Question number 3, where did the lessons show up? And they come in all shapes and sizes. They don't have to be big stuff. What stretched you last year? What stretched you last year? Where were you scared but you did something anyway? What relationship kind of pushed you to do something different or be something different? What parts of you softened? So when we look at lessons, you know, it's all encompassing, because the bad things, the stuff that didn't go so well, also have a lesson, because that is, maybe we didn't show up the way we said, or the way we said we were going to do, or the way we thought that we were going to show up. There was something that we didn't do. That in itself is a lesson. So the lessons can be great lessons of, oh, I want more of that. I want to do more of that. That felt good. Or it can be the lessons that really stretched you, that really pushed you to be somebody different, do something different, say something different. On to question number 4. What are you going to change? It's not about how you can change somebody else, because you know that we can't do that. That's up to them. What are you going to change? What's got to change in you? The words you say to yourself about yourself? The daily calendar that never seems to get accomplished, the lost boundaries, the people pleasing, holding on to something that's totally out of your control. Go ahead, pause this, and give that a go. What about you do you want to keep? There are things that I actually really like about myself. There are, of course, the things that I'm not so keen about myself, hence the lessons. But what do I want to keep about myself? I mean, I think that if you let down, is anybody going to see this list kind of thinking? What are other people going to think? I think, quite honestly, you might come up with a pretty cool list. Something that might even change the way you think about yourself. What did I survive? So when I looked back at my calendar and my photo file, what brought a smile to my face? Something that filled my heart. What did I love about the way that I handled a situation or a conversation? What did I be like, you rock? How will my choices be different this year? Who do I want to bring forward? Like, what part of me is coming with me? Because I'm dropping all this other stuff. I dropped this bag, so that stuff's all gone. But what am I bringing with me? That's the really cool stuff, because that is a choice. That's a choice. And this reflection creates the space to give us the perspective that we need in order to move forward with this stuff, with the good stuff, with our gifts, rather than the unresolved issues. Final question, number 6. Today's the day. The line's drawn in the sand. You've got your boundaries drawn. As she steps over that threshold, who is she? And what does that mean? What does that mean? Body, mind, and spirit. Who is she? You stronger? What parts of me grew stronger? What parts of me are stronger because of last year? Because as I reflect, it allows me to release these stories without any regret. You can honor something and let it go at the same time. You can be grateful for the lesson without carrying the weight. You can acknowledge pain without letting it define you. So as we reflect and we take a look at those lessons, the good, the bad, and the ugly, they come both sides, just like the coin. There's two sides to every coin. The balance sheet, your checkbook, has a debit and a credit. Where are the lessons? Take what you need and leave the rest, wherever that is when you're listening to this recording. So as we wrap up, I'm going to invite you to return to this journal as I do each and every month. We are a work in progress. We are never one and done. And as we go and grow, you'll notice that there'll be tweaks to what you have written down in the past, but you will begin to see a pattern. And those patterns teach us something. And that's why putting pen to paper is the most honest way to become this next best version of yourself. I also want you to know that you are not alone. You are never alone. Reflection is a practice. It's not a task. And I'm so honored that you're here. And I want to honor our lived experiences and give them space, because that's exactly where new beginnings begin. So I'll see you right back here in a few weeks for the next phase of the Who Is She journey. Ciao for now. See you then.